Welcome to my channel, Human, Evidently, where I provide evidence-based videos on human origins, paleoanthropology, archaeology, and evolutionary science for adults. They say the best way to learn is to teach, and as an anthropology student, I have found this to be true. My presentation videos are developed from the study material I build for my undergraduate courses and scholarly sources, and can be used to supplement your own learning in high school or college level classes. This is the Intro to Primatology series. This 10-part series introduces the field of primatology through a broad examination of primate evolution, anatomy, behavior, ecology, cognition, and conservation. It is designed to provide an undergraduate level understanding of the diversity of the primate order, the methods used to study primates, and the ways primate research informs larger questions about adaptation, social life, and human evolution. Across these lectures, viewers will gain a deeper appreciation for primates as both biological organisms and critical subjects in the study of life, behavior, and our own origins. While these notes and words are my own, they are informed by the ASM 443 Primatology course at Arizona State University. I attended this class online in spring of 2026 under Dr. Ian Gilby. The ASM 443 course curriculum and materials were developed by Drs. Ian Gilby, Kevin Langer-Graber, and Joan Silk. Intro to Primatology Lecture Series. Part 3. Orangutans and the Costs and Benefits of Living in Groups. Orangutans illuminate the selective logic of sociality and reveal how exquisitely adapted organisms can still be perilously mismatched to the modern world. Most anthropoid primates live in stable social groups, so orangutans pose an immediate evolutionary puzzle. They are great apes, close relatives of chimpanzees, gorillas, bonobos, and humans, yet adult orangutans spend most of their lives in dispersed, semi-solitary arrangements. To understand why, one must ask a broader question. Under what conditions should natural selection favor sociality, and under what conditions should it favor a more solitary way of life? Behavioral ecology answers that question by treating behavior as an adaptation shaped by ecological circumstances. Social living evolves only when the benefits of group life outweigh its costs for individual survival and reproduction. Those benefits can include shared information, collective defense, reduced predation risk, access to social services such as grooming or infant care, and in some cases, the ability to monopolize resources. But there are also costs. Group members compete with one another for food. Pathogens spread more easily when individuals live in close contact. Groups may be more conspicuous to predators. Travel can become more energetically expensive when multiple individuals must coordinate movement through shared home ranges. Sociality is actually uncommon among mammals overall. Many mammalian females are distributed by the food supply. If critical foods are scattered, low in density, or difficult to share without intense competition, females may be unable to aggregate without substantial reproductive costs. Because female distribution sets the stage for male strategies, solitary or dispersed female ranging often leads to dispersed males, whose home ranges overlap those of several females. Orangutans fit this pattern unusually well. Orangutans survive only on Borneo and Sumatra, with 3 recognized species: the Bornean orangutan, the Sumatran orangutan, and the Tapanuli orangutan. Their current distribution is a remnant of a formerly wider range across Southeast Asia. Geological changes on the Sunda Shelf, together with rising and falling sea levels, shaped their isolation on islands and the divergence of their lineages. All 3 species are now critically endangered, threatened by deforestation, habitat fragmentation, agricultural expansion, mining, logging, and the pet trade. Their evolutionary distinctiveness makes their conservation status especially sobering. Orangutans are striking in appearance and locomotion. Their long red hair, exceptionally long arms, short legs, curved fingers, and flexible hips reflect life in the canopy. They are the largest habitually arboreal mammals on Earth. Large body size creates locomotor challenges in trees, but orangutans solve them with careful, often deliberate movement. Rather than leaping recklessly across gaps, they test support branches, distribute weight, and use compliant branch systems to bridge space. They can also exploit branch sway, bending stems with their own weight until a neighboring support comes within reach. Orangutans are often described as frugivores, and that is broadly accurate. Ripe fruit forms the core of their diet, But fruit is not continuously available, and not all fruit patches are equally shareable. Orangutans supplement fruit with leaves, bark, pith, flowers, seeds, and insects, but their nutritional strategy remains strongly oriented toward patchy, seasonally variable, high-quality foods. Fruit can create intense feeding competition when many individuals converge on the same patch. If food items are clumped and quickly depleted, aggregation becomes costly. Adult females therefore occupy largely separate home ranges with dependent offspring. Their ranges may overlap, especially with maternal kin, but they do not travel as cohesive permanent groups in the manner of baboons or macaques. Daughters often establish ranges near those of their mothers, producing a degree of matrilineal spatial continuity, but even this does not generate stable group life. Adult males range more broadly, often overlapping multiple females. Some maintain relatively stable ranges, others are more transient. Orangutans reproduce extraordinarily slowly. Females have the longest interbirth intervals known among mammals, often around 7 to 9 years. Infants remain dependent for many years, learning what to eat, where to travel, how to build nests, and how to navigate a highly complex arboreal and ecological world. Long juvenile dependence means that each offspring represents a major investment. For females, any ecological circumstance that compromises nutritional status can reverberate through lactation, infant survival, and reproductive rate. Under those conditions, tolerating many feeding competitors would be extremely costly. Males occur in two morphs, unflanged and flanged adults. Flanged males are larger, with cheek pads and throat sacs used in long calls. Unflanged males are smaller and may experience a prolonged developmental arrest before acquiring full secondary sexual characteristics. These morphs correspond to alternative reproductive tactics. Flanged males advertise, range, and attempt to monopolize access to females over large areas. Unflanged males may use more opportunistic approaches. Compare orangutans with their African ape relatives. Gorillas live in cohesive groups, largely because many of their foods, especially herbaceous vegetation in some habitats, are more evenly distributed and more defensible at the group level. Chimpanzees and bonobos live in broader communities with fission-fusion dynamics because social relationships among males, intercommunity competition, and the opportunities associated with fruit-rich habitats favor a very different balance of costs and benefits. Orangutans occupy another point in the comparative landscape. Their ecological constraints are such that the day-to-day costs of feeding beside many others often exceed the gains of constant association. Comparison therefore reveals that ape sociality is not singular. The ape clade contains several distinct solutions to the same fundamental challenges. Orangutan development also illustrates why cognitive and social learning capacities can evolve outside highly gregarious systems. Juveniles remain with their mothers for many years, during which time they learn roots, foods, mechanical skills, and nest-building techniques. This lengthy apprenticeship means that the mother-offspring bond is exceptionally important, perhaps more central to orangutan social structure than any broader group tie. In species with stable groups, information may be distributed across many partners. In orangutans, much of the information is transmitted in an intimate dyadic context. This reminds us that social learning requires repeated, developmentally significant exposure to knowledgeable others. Orangutans cope with pronounced fluctuations in fruit availability, and during lean periods, they may draw on fallback foods and stored body reserves. Their behavior often reflects a strategy of energy conservation. They travel relatively little, rest extensively, and avoid unnecessary expenditures. Group living, by contrast, can impose additional travel and contest costs. Seen from this perspective, orangutan's semi-solitary life is tied to a broader energetic economy in which minimizing waste can be crucial for long-term reproductive success. Finally, the conservation crisis surrounding orangutans underscores the vulnerability of slow life histories. A species that produces one offspring at long intervals cannot rebound quickly from adult female mortality, infant capture, or habitat fragmentation. Each killed female represents not just one lost life, but the loss of years of future reproductive potential and social knowledge. Because orangutans are so slow to reproduce, even modest increases in mortality can drive long-term decline. Their ecology created a viable strategy over evolutionary time, but it is a strategy poorly suited to the speed and scale of human-caused environmental change. Thank you for spending this time with me on human, evidently. I hope you're leaving with a clearer understanding of the subject and a deeper curiosity about the story of life, evolution, and our place within it. Until next time, keep asking those good questions. If you want to support my channel, please consider subscribing here and on Patreon, where you can access my content for free or contribute a small donation to get your name at the end of my videos. I am working on a series of educational material for middle grade readers and 2 science fiction novels. Such endeavors are only made possible by contributions from viewers like you.